So I know this video is very late. As a matter of fact, it is probably the latest, and this is my fault because I've been lazy and I've had to deal with school and shit. But I figured, why not do this video on the day of the draft? The Bills had a very busy offseason. An offseason that you might add was pretty damn good. I mean, if you want to just whine and complain about the fact that they didn't get Antonio Brown, go ahead and do that. I mean, if you really paid attention, they clearly said the deal was never in place. It was just preliminary talks, and Brown was the one who shut it down. Who cares about that? We don't need Antonio Brown. We got a better Brown at wide receiver and John Brown. So let me start out with the wide receiving core that the addition we made. The first move they made was all the way in January with Queel Williams. He is a 6'3", 225-pound receiver from the CFL. He went to Auburn. And you might not know the name, but you've definitely seen him play. Of course, it was the viral video of in the CFL, the cornerback who was kind of taunting at a wide receiver and then got derailed. Williams is the guy who ran him over. In his career in the CFL, he had 134 catches, 2,294 yards, and 15 touchdowns. He's a big body receiver, and he could be a very good depth piece. And, he's a guy that a lot of people are high on. Of course, the Bills also went out and signed Cole Beasley, 4 years, $29 million. He's a great possession guy. He's probably gonna factor into the slot, maybe not. I mean, most of the Bills receivers are basically slot receivers, except for Zay Jones. I mean, he's the only one who is not a true slot receiver. They also signed, of course, John Brown. That's a 3-year, $27 million deal. That one is very interesting to me. He's got speed. He's basically probably going to be the equivalent of what Marquise Goodwin was with the Bills. He's going to go deep, and he's going to get the ball because Allen's going to sling it out there for him. They also signed kick returner Andre Roberts. He was the top kick returner in the league last season. He had a lot of great returns against the Bills last season. And when the Jets came to Buffalo, I was at that game. And that's the game where Steven Hauschka tried to slide tackle him like it was soccer. That's a 2-year, $5.1 million deal. That's basically going to be a prove it deal. Like, show that you can be more than just a return specialist. We go to tight ends. Tyler Croft, 3 years, $18.45 million. This is one that is interesting to me because he's never been a starter except for when Eifert was injured. This is one of those deals where it's like you don't really know. I mean, it's not a high-risk deal. This is a perfect deal for a guy like Croft. They also signed Jake Fisher, who is a tackle who is converted to a tight end. That is interesting to me. I wonder how that's going to look. And, of course, you get to the O-line, which is where the Bills just blew it up. They just spent money on O-linemen. They signed LaAdrian Waddle and Ty Nsekhe, both of them big boys, big, strong men. The Waddle name sounds familiar. His wife was a main factor in why Bills fans were donating so much money to Nashville local area charities after Titans fans decided to buy a bunch of votes for a Twitter poll. They also signed Spencer Long and John Feliciano. I'm going to guess those are mostly depth additions. I could be wrong. They also signed Quinton Spain. He's a big boy. Very reliable guy for the Titans. He's plays throughout the line. And then the big name, Mitch Morse. Probably the top free agent who's actually played football in the past 365 days. That is a 4-year, $44 million deal. That is how you do it. I mean, the Bills last season, they were at a disadvantage because Eric Wood had a sudden retirement after doctors found that there was an issue with his neck. And up in the middle is where the Bills really struggled. You saw that. Running the ball was not good last year. Then you get to the running backs. They signed Senor Perry from the Dolphins. Don't even know, a single thing about him, so who cares? He'll probably a preseason cut. TJ Yeldon from the Jags. That'll probably be a Chris Ivory guy. They did release Ivory, which I'm kind of disappointed about. They got Frank Gore, the ageless wonder. Frank Gore. He is fantastic. He's just like a fine wine. He gets better with age. Gore's son actually holds a scholarship offer from UB. So, who knows? Maybe that means that Frank Gore's son is going to go to UB. Now there's dads in Buffalo. Interesting to look out for. Christian Wade was signed. Running back Christian Wade. He has never played a game of American football in his life. He is a rugby player from England. And this is interesting. I love when these things happen because you get to see because of course there was Jared Hayne a couple years ago where people were just crazy about him, and then gets wrestling and you realize, oh, this guy's really actually not that good. It's somebody having a strong preseason. In fact, that they basically said he can do it all. They did not make much moves on defense. Final flat, Bills finished with the top defense last season. Didn't really lose any pieces on the defense, so no need to make anything. They signed Kevin Johnson, a cornerback from the Texans. I think it's a 2-year deal, if I remember correctly. He missed a lot of time with concussions, something I have also dealt with. So this is basically a depth addition because the Bills are pretty deep at cornerback. You know, he could slide into that second spot due to the fact that Teron Johnson seems to have some injury issues, which sucks. And there's defensive end Eli Harold. Don't really know much about the guy. I know that he's probably going to factor in to some point. Now you get to the draft. What do the Bills do with the number 9 pick? This is what I would say. If he's available. If he is available, I'm taking it at Oliver. He's said a lot of great things about Buffalo in a previous interview. And he basically is going to factor in right well because Kyle Williams just retired, which, God, I'm going to miss that guy. He's going to factor right in. He's going to add that he's not the biggest guy, but he's got speed. He's got agility. He's a quick-moving player. I think it's a perfect match. If he is gone, I would look into maybe trading down a bit, you know? There's a lot of teams that have been rumored to want to trade up, and maybe trade down and take a tight end. TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant. Those are the 2 big tight ends, and they're both from Iowa. Go figure. Iowa just produces some big boys. And really, that's all I can say about the draft. I mean, I don't really know what they're going to do. I mean, it's pretty clear that they have filled a lot of their holes. The only real hole I notice is probably tight end and the defensive line. That's it. And if he was available, I mean, of course, I'd say take Josh Allen because it'd be pretty funny to have 2 Josh Allens on the same team. That's it. That's all I'm gonna talk about today. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this, like the video, comment how ugly I am or some shit like that. And have a good day and go Bills.